I'd like to explain what Hitachi means by social innovation. The social part refers to Hitachi's corporate mission, which is to contribute to the well-being of society. And that's through technology and products, and mining and agriculture are the foundations of our society. Hitachi has consolidated sales to the mining industry of more than $2 billion within Australia, and I understand that 2018 will be a record year for Hitachi Australia as a consolidated group.
60–70% of our business here is very closely connected to mining. You saw some solutions to do with IT. We have consumer products. There are other areas like the power generation that we've been part of the power generation, for example, in Queensland for over the last 40 years. Our units have been operating at Stanwell, at Torong, Callide, and also in Victoria and New South Wales. This has been, and rail has been a significant part of our presence here. Queensland Rail, the Waratahs in the New South Wales, providing various systems. We haven't done rolling stock for that matter, but introduced various technologies in that space. I'm very conscious of the fact that we cannot do everything. We need partners, we need friends, we need the industry to work with us. So we are always on the lookout to see how we can partner with other organizations. You see a good example of that today here.
Today, if you combine agriculture with data and technology, you're really into an industry that is booming in leaps and bounds and growth in technology. This is the modern day look of agriculture. It's satellite-guided autonomous tractors. It's fully autonomous in the sense that it's absolutely no one sitting in it. Data, as we know, is everywhere. There's a ton of it there in the mining space, but it's everywhere. It's in factories, it's on your phone, and agriculture is absolutely no difference whatsoever. There's a ton of data for agriculture. When we talk data in agriculture, drone satellites are actually sensors. They're a useful tool. They're not a toy. They're a useful tool to give us data. And with accuracy by using QZSS, GPS, RTK, other on-ground stations, you can get it down to per tree. Change the range of the spectral camera again, you can start to look at soil condition. How much water's in the soil, how much nitrogen and carbon is in the soil. Same camera, different spectral range. So what's needed is a solution that brings all this data together simply, easily, for the farmer to be able to make real-time decisions, to be able to do it in real time, because he can't wait, because trees, believe it or not, if you've taken an image of a tree and it looks stressed, you've got less than 48 hours to fix the problem, or you have to take the tree out. Hitachi Process Intelligence, it brings it all together. It actually closes the loop to make this data meaningful of value to the actual farmer. It integrates data for more governance, so you can actually do the traceability and keep track of it. So this is what Hitachi Process Intelligence does. So all this dispersed information, which could be across many properties, many paddocks, different areas, it's all in one place at the one time in real time.
We've had to identify areas to move into, and one of those has been to look at how we would supply robotics into enterprise level organisations. So where we've had to position ourselves is as an advanced organisation, particularly when it comes to regulations. I've been sitting with CASA developing regulations for around about 10 years, but all that hard work is now starting to come to fruition because some of the things which used to be barriers are now being removed.
Now, I know a lot of people are scared about what automation means. It's about improving workplace safety. It's about increasing life cycle time, providing stable and consistent operations. And I think that's probably a critical one that a lot of people gloss over. When I mean stable and consistent, it's making sure that every piece of equipment or asset that you have on the site, and to the further extension, people on the site are operating in the most stable, consistent and safe environment that they can. It's about reducing operating costs, and as it ties back to what I'm talking about, in particular around haulage. And then the other thing is about sustainability. How do we reduce fuel and emissions? AHS is essentially giving a vehicle robotic guidelines to operate within, and it will pick the most optimal results and optimal fuel burns to operate. That's what I mean by reducing fuel and emissions. The objectives of an AHS solution are to remove humans from risk. So one of the main factors that does happen is when people are determining whether they want to go down the AHS path, it's around where is the biggest risk when you're talking about the load and haul. And I think the interaction of people in vehicles is probably one of the biggest ones. This removes humans from the line of fire. It increases production tonnes per day, per hour, per truck. It also improves fuel per hour. Again, humans, being humans, are flawed. They can't always operate to the greatest parameters. A machine doesn't have considerations for that. It will actually operate within a set of guidelines and rules.
We have a strong relationship with Hitachi, and we have had for a long period of time. And that relationship not only goes just to the mining fleet, but it also goes to the, to the big data work, that Anand was talking about earlier. Hitachi are helping us in our coal preparation space. For us, the data, if you look at each of these assets, trucks around about $5 million, they need to be running at world's best practice. Generally in Australia, I think you find that our fleets are not running at world's best. We expect to be getting 7,300 hours a year out of our trucks. Often we're sort of down around 6,100, 6,500. We see using data to assist us to getting that 20 hours a day out of machines that we should be getting direct operating time. It's also using the data to make sure that we're productive with the assets. It's not just in the mining space. We've also started doing work with drones. So to Mark's comments earlier, in terms of capturing volumes, tracking where we have water seepage and that sort of thing. So I think we're early in that journey. The other element, for us is also environmental impact. So given that we're so close to the town of Muswellbrook, noise, dust, same as most mining operations have these issues, I think there's real opportunity to use potentially drone technology, other technology in terms of helping us manage those issues from a industry perspective. I think more and more so there's a focus on getting more out of our assets and our people. And also just with the increased community focus on coal. From an environmental perspective, I think there's a lot of opportunities there with our rehabilitation, also managing dust, noise, but most importantly, I think improvement.
I think you would have known very obviously from the conversation today, one of the significant areas for us to concentrate is automation, the IoT space. That's where the major focus is going to be going forward for us in this region. What you're witnessing here is basically what Hitachi is all about. It's all about co-creation, it's working with partners, it's about collaborative work with the markets, with the regions in which we operate.